protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. He's Hacker.
Talk about a fried egg. I lasted about 5 minutes out there. I said, to heck with this. I'll do this in the morning. And I don't have any inside information. The lady that did it, she got in there. She made it happen.
And he doesn't shy away from opinion.
And I do enjoy drinking cold beer at ballparks. So if that makes me a baseball fan, then I'm a diehard baseball fan.
It's Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
And a very good Wednesday evening to you, Jacksonville. It is Hacker After Dark, 1010XL, 92.5 FM with Dylan Denmark. The Hacker Ryan Green with you. Glad you are with us. We are one day closer to Monday Night Football. The Jaguars will be back at the Miller Electric Center tomorrow as preparations officially get underway for the Buffalo Bills. They will have practice tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. Of course, get on that airplane Sunday and travel up to Buffalo for what is a very important game for the Jacksonville Jaguars. There is absolutely no question about that. We're going to talk a lot about the Jacksonville Jaguars and the National Football League tonight. We're also going to dive into the college game and even sprinkle in some high school football as well. So we're going to hit all three beginning in less than 15 minutes. My buddy Leon Searcy, former Pro Bowl offensive tackle for the Jacksonville Jaguars. You hear him every day on XL Primetime. Leon will stop by to give his thoughts on why the Jaguars are where they are at 0-2 right now. More importantly, how they get out of this hole, and could that potentially begin next Monday night in Buffalo. Also, towards the bottom of the 8 o'clock hour, 8:35, 8:40 or so, JP Acosta will stop by of SB Nation, and we'll talk Jags and look around the rest of the AFC South. So it's all NFL for the entire first hour tonight here on Hacker After Dark. We will dive into some Florida State talk in the 9 o'clock hour and a little bit of high school football talk in the 9 o'clock hour as well. But we are absolutely loaded. We're going to take you up till 10 o'clock tonight, and we certainly appreciate you spending part of your Wednesday evening with us. Every night here on Hacker After Dark, we do kick it off with a big deal of the night and Dylan Denmark. Let's do that right now.
Time now for the big deal of the night.
What's the big deal?
What is the big deal?
No big deal.
It is a big deal.
On Hacker After Dark.
2 games for the Jacksonville Jaguars, 2 losses for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I just wanted to go over statistically, maybe I'm too much of a stats geek, a stats nerd, if you will. Maybe that's the fantasy football side of me coming out. But I often say that statistics, well, they're facts, right? That's reality. You can have an opinion as to this guy is better than his stats show, or maybe that guy is not as good as his stats are. And that's fair. But those are opinions. Stats are facts. This guy has rushed for this many yards. This guy has thrown for this many yards. This guy has caught this many yards or ran for this many touchdowns. You can't argue with stats. You can maybe disagree with them, but it's hard to just say they're irrelevant. And that brings me to the Jaguar offense. 2 games, 2 losses, and the stats are horrifying. Trevor Lawrence in 2 games is completing 51% of his passes. 51. He's 26 of 51 for, 335 yards passing, 1 touchdown, and no interceptions. That, ladies and gentlemen, is not good enough. Rushing the football, the Jaguars' leading rusher through 2 games, Travis Etienne, with 96 yards on the ground. Let me do my Wolfson math on that. That's an average of 48 yards per game in the first 2 contests. Second, Tank Bigsby, 73. Third, Trevor Lawrence with 53. When your leading rusher through 2 games has not hit 100 yards, meaning you're averaging less than 50 yards a game by your leading tailback, that is a problem. Receiving the ball, your leading receiver, Brian Thomas, 6 catches for 141 yards. He's tied with Gabe Davis, 6 catches for 105 yards. ETN, 5 catches. Brenton Strange, 3 catches. Luke Farrell, 2 catches. Christian Kirk has caught 2 passes in 2 games. 2 passes in 2 games for 29 yards. Evan Ingram, of course, did not play in week 2. He only had 1 catch for 5 yards in week 1. And Parker Washington has 1 grab for 3 yards. So your leading receiver in 2 games, from a number of reception standpoint, is Gabe Davis and Brian Thomas, who have each caught 6 passes. That's an average of 3 catches per game for both guys. Your leading rusher, Travis Etienne, is averaging 48 yards on the ground. And Trevor Lawrence is averaging roughly 190 yards passing per game before you take out sack yardage. That's horrible, right? It's horrible. So when Trevor Lawrence on Sunday after Cleveland came out and said the offense sucks right now, yeah, I said this on Monday. You're spot on, Trevor. Absolutely. The offense does suck right now, and the statistics back it up. You're not running the ball. Your receivers are not catching a high volume number of passes. Your completion percentage is disgusting. And as a result of the offensive ineptitude, the Jaguars have lost both of their games. Which brings me to Monday night going to Buffalo in week 3. This needs to be a Trevor Lawrence game. Well, you say, what's a Trevor Lawrence game? Well, the second half against the Chargers in the playoffs, that was a Trevor Lawrence game. The Baltimore comeback in 2022, that was a Trevor Lawrence game. Indianapolis and Tennessee, both here last year, those were Trevor Lawrence games. Buffalo needs to be a Trevor Lawrence game on Monday night. Trevor was as aggravated, as animated, and quite frankly, let's be honest, as pissed as I've ever seen him after a loss on Sunday against Cleveland. Throwing not only himself under the bus, but really the entire offense. Again, the quote, "We suck right now." Yeah. So what are you going to do about it? I understand your offensive line has not been good. In fact, they've been bad at times. I understand you're having trouble running the ball. I get receivers are dropping passes. There are injury problems. All of that stuff. I get it. But you're Trevor Lawrence, man. You signed a $275 million contract that makes you the highest paid quarterback per season in the NFL. You were obviously very upset on Sunday after Cleveland. Take that aggression, take that anger, take that frustration, and have a Trevor Lawrence game in Buffalo in front of a national TV audience on Monday night. If Jacksonville somehow goes into Buffalo and wins that game, doesn't that basically right every wrong of the first 2 weeks? Rights a lot of them. But they're not going to win. They have no chance of winning on Monday night in Buffalo unless Trevor Lawrence has a Trevor Lawrence game. You got the contract. You're the leader of the team. You were aggravated last week. Go do something about it. And do something about it Monday night in Orchard Park, New York, in a hostile environment against Bills Mafia as a touchdown underdog, and go in there and win the game. Go have a Trevor Lawrence game. And if you do that, the Jaguars would have an outstanding chance of pulling off the upset. 641-1010 on the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Your thoughts, as always, are always welcome right here on Hacker After Dark. Coming up next, my buddy Leon Searcy, a former Pro Bowl offensive tackle for the Jacksonville Jaguars. You hear him every day on primetime. You get him with me and the head coach Dave Campo on the fifth quarter on Sundays. And you also get him weekly right here on Hacker After Dark. We're going to talk about the offensive line struggles. We're going to talk about digging yourself out of an 0-2 hole. We're going to talk about going on the road into an environment like Buffalo on a Monday night. And we're going to talk about what needs to happen for the Jaguars to pull off the upset. And we're going to do that next with Leon Searcy on a Wednesday night in Jacksonville, Florida. We're glad you're with us. Hacker After Dark right here. 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Kick off your college football weekend with a Bueller Aaron Plumbing College Kickoff.
I'm Matt Hayes, and I'll help you slide into a college football Saturday with pregame news and notes.
Friday evening at 6. Brought to you by Sonny's Barbecue on 1010XL.
Hacker here, and I've got something to celebrate. Honestly, I never thought I'd be able to say this. I'm on the countdown to dropping 100 pounds. Yes, sir. 90 pounds already, thanks to Awaken 180 weight loss, and I'm just 3 weeks away from hitting the big 100. The best part? I'm reaching that 100 mark in months, not years. Life-changing and life-saving, no doubt about it. I had pretty much given up on trying, but now I'm going to be here for my son, my wife, my family, and most importantly, for myself. I'm living my life to the fullest, and I didn't know just how easy it was to make happen with Awaken 180. When I hit that 100-pound mark, we're going to celebrate big. I'll keep you updated every week as I get closer, and you can even join in on the celebration. Details to come. In the meantime, pick up the phone and make your own 180. Call 844-346-1800 or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Julington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
It's time to take it back to the 90s, Jags fans. Be at the bank Sunday, October 6th, as we debut our Prowler throwback jerseys against the Colts and induct legendary head coach Tom Coughlin into the pride of the Jaguars at halftime. Kickoff is set for 1 p.m. You're not going to want to miss this matchup. Lock in your seats now by going to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
What's the weekend in sports look like? I'm Dan Hicken, and I'll give you my take on the Weekend with Dan. Find it on YouTube and Facebook. Weekend with Dan, brought to you by Stone Core. We do outdoors better.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. I've been playing Prize Picks lately, and I have no idea why I waited so long. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with more than 5 million active members. And beyond that, it's a blast to play. It's easy, it's exciting, and it makes those college and NFL games so much more exciting to watch. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stats and watch your winnings roll in. This week, I've got Vikings quarterback Sam Arnold throwing for less than 229.5 yards and Colts quarterback Anthony Richardson rushing for less than 39.5 yards. It's just that easy. Prize Picks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get my money as quickly as 15 minutes. Download the Prize Picks app today and use the code JAX, J-A-X, and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code JAX on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. It's all there, Prize Picks. Run your game.
Expert Automotive on St. John's Bluff Road has some of the highest Google reviews in Jax for a reason. Expert Auto never sells greed, only what you need. All makes and models are serviced at Expert Automotive. This month, get an alignment inspection for only $19.99. Expert Auto does major engine and transmission repair and simple maintenance. All services done at Expert Auto by our ASE certified training technicians. Call today, 374-3373, and ask about $50 off any service. Expert Automotive. We never sell greed, only what you need.
Brackish Vodka, the official vodka of UNF Athletics, 100% made in Jacksonville, is available at all local liquor stores. Visit Browdy's, Total Wine, ABC, Shores, Golden, Sahara's, Golden Ox, and more. Drink our gluten-free San Francisco Spirit award-winning vodka and see why it's the smoothest vodka you can buy. When you drink Brackish Vodka, you support all of our local employees and all the money stays in Jacksonville. Drink Brackish Vodka and live life slightly salty. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
I'm Jeff Middlecoff with Trustline Mortgage. My business partners, Alan Tyre, Bill Pappas, and Ken Rimley, have been helping first-time home buyers with their mortgage financing all over Florida for 34 years. First-time home buyers can get no or low down payments, anywhere from 0 to 3.5% down. As a first-time home buyer with Trustline Mortgage, you get added benefits for doing your loan with us, like lower rates on your mortgage insurance and lower closing costs. Oh, and did I forget to mention that Trustline gives first-time home buyers better mortgage interest rates? Here's the bottom line. Trustline Mortgage wants to help first-time homebuyers accomplish your goal of home ownership. That's why Trustline Mortgage is offering the best first-time homebuyer benefits around, period. Trustline Mortgage delivers with no and low down payments, lower closing costs, and better interest rates. Call Trustline Mortgage today at 381-LOAN. Yes, 381-LOAN to find out how we can help you buy your dream home. Or visit our website at trustlinemortgage.com. Trust your instincts and follow the line to Trustline Mortgage.
Certain restrictions apply. See office for details. Trustline is an equal housing opportunity. MLS number 331480.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Multi-unit hair grafting is now available at IHRS and can give you 3 times more hair in one procedure over a traditional hair transplant.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
You can grow your hair back with this exclusive new procedure. Call for a free evaluation. Call IHRS 904-777-IHRS 777-IHRS 777-4477.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The Jaguars and the Bills, Monday Night Football up in Buffalo. The Jaguars looking to avoid an 0-3 start as they're taking on, quite frankly, one of the best teams in the NFL right now in the Buffalo Bills. Let's look ahead. Let's also look back on what has gone wrong through the first 2 games with my buddy Leon Searcy, former Pro Bowl offensive tackle for the Jacksonville Jaguars. You hear him every day on XL Primetime, and you get him weekly right here on Hacker After Dark. Leon, how you doing, man?
I'm good, bro.
All right, you and I haven't spoke since the 5th quarter. We've had a couple of days to digest an 0-2 start. Do you feel any better, a couple of days removed from Cleveland, or is it still very fresh?
Well, you know what? I'm still a little bitter and disappointed in how this team performed last Sunday. But listen, just like the team, you watch the film, you go over the mistakes, and then on Wednesday you get back to work. I mean, you've got to have that kind of approach in this league. You can't let losses linger. You have to learn from them and move on. And hopefully this team has learned from those mistakes that they made in that Cleveland game. As bad as they played, as bad as both teams played, they still had an opportunity to win it. So you let that go and you get yourself focused because you have to. This Monday night, you got a red-hot Buffalo Bills team that you got to go up to and play, and it's not going to be an easy environment.
Leon, there's a lot of talk in the city this week about the offensive line and their performance. You're certainly one of the guys to ask. Is it as bad as some people are making it out to be?
It is. It absolutely is. But here's Hacker. We knew this last year, bro. We knew this last year. This last year down the stretch, this offensive line struggled. It struggled. It was makeshift for the most part. But then we were sold a bag of goods this offseason. And we're told that, hey, this team, this offensive line never had opportunity to work together and only had that one chance against the Titans. And then you go and you hire Mitch Morris and you make Fortner the scapegoat and you say, and you even had the head coach, you had the GM say, hey, the offensive line is good. We're great. We're comfortable with the guys that we have up front. And right now, Hacker, that they are the weak link of the offense. The offense goes as far as the offensive line takes them.
You know, again, Leon Searcy here with us, and that's an interesting perspective. Obviously, you played over a decade in the league. So let me ask you flat out, if guys aren't performing at other positions, they get shown to the bench, right? We saw Bryce Young in Carolina, a number 1 overall pick, get benched earlier this week. Are you at the point where, I don't know, Leon, I mean, Walker Little, Cooper Hodges, are you ready to see maybe some other guys out there?
No, that'll be a desperation. Those guys right there. I mean, you can't plug and play those guys right there because they're not as good as the guys in front of them. Which unfortunately that's the case because the guys in front of you, you've got to find a way somehow in meetings, on the practice field, whatever you need to do to get these guys to play better, whatever it may be. You may have to ask them, what kind of plays do you like? What kind of plays do you feel that plays to your strength? I mean, we don't have a mauling offensive line. We've got an athletic offensive line. We've got an offensive line that can move laterally. They're not going to blow anybody off the ball. They're not going to be impressive in those sorts. But you got to find a way where this offensive lineman can utilize his quickness, his athleticism to its benefit. Because what happens is, Hackers, when they go up against defensive fronts that are physical, they get overwhelmed. They get manhandled. I mean, but that's in the run game. In the passing game, I mean, we can't win our one-on-one matchups. Interiorly, I thought interiorly we're going to struggle, and we have struggled against 1 and 3 techniques. But on the outside, Cam Robinson and Anton Harrison have been a disappointment over the last few weeks as far as their inability to keep pressure off of Trevor. They get beat around corners, and they get beat around corners at home. You got a competitive advantage at home when you're going up against outside rushers because you know the snap count. You're in a healthy environment, and you should be playing your best ball at home. And it was just unfortunate to see those two guys struggle as much as they did at home against the Cleveland Browns.
I want to branch out to some other topics, but that's concerning to me at least because, I mean, you obviously know what good offensive line play looks like. You don't think the Jaguar offensive line is performing well. You are concerned about it. Yet there's seemingly nothing you can do because you believe, even though the guys are underperforming, those are the 5 best out there. I mean, the hay is in the barn, right? You're not going to go bring anybody in off the street. What you got is what you got. That's an indictment of Trent Baalke, is it not?
It is. It is. And listen, we talked about this last year when we were talking about as far as the lack of productivity as far as the pass rush goes, and we was concerned that maybe we needed to get somebody else to come in last year to get us some help, and nothing was done. And then the narrative all off season is that this offensive line struggled down the stretch. They underperformed. They got overwhelmed by bigger and tougher defensive fronts, and maybe we need to draft a guy or bring a guy in or something that could kind of change the temperature in the room. And we were told, hey, we like what we see with this offensive line. We made the necessary change in the middle where we struggled, and I think the rest of our guys are fine. And that's not the case. And what the truth of the matter is, Hack, is that the defensive fronts that the offensive line are going to see the next couple of weeks, they're big and physical, and they're fast, and they're going to be on the road. So I mean, this unit has got to man up. I mean, you can go 0-4, but if you raise your level of intensity and accountability, You can win these games. I mean, you can win the next 2 games, but you can't struggle the way you struggled the last couple of weeks if you're looking to do that.
Yeah, the Bills' defensive line: Von Miller, Gregory Rousseau, Ed Oliver. They're going to look to feast on that Jaguar O-line. Couple of more for Leon Searcy, former Pro Bowl offensive tackle for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Leon, the struggles of the offense, I mean, it's been bad. Trevor Lawrence said, quote, "We suck right now." I mean, that's the leader of the offense saying that after Sunday's loss to Cleveland. Is the struggle of the offense because of the offensive line, or are there deeper issues there?
I mean, collectively, they all are underperforming. They've been underwhelming. I mean, where's Christian Kirk been? I mean, Evan Ingram hurt his hamstring. I understand that. Where's Christian Kirk been? Gabe Davis, he hurts his shoulder. I mean, the only bright point, in my opinion, of the whole offense has been Brian Thomas, the rookie. And I thought, because he was a rookie, I thought he was going to take him a little time to get going. But he's proven over the last 2 games that he has big play capabilities. Get him the ball. Get him the ball. If everybody else has been underwhelming, you need to get him the ball. You need to feed the beast. Trevor struggled. He holds on the ball entirely too long. You can't do that against this offensive line. You got to get rid of it. Tank Bisbee, I mean, he looked solid in the Dolphins game initially, but then why do you have him on kickoff? What the hell is going on with that?
Yeah.
You have him on kickoff, and he gets blown up in kickoff, and now, you risk having a solid 1-2 punch for the rest of the season because of that. I mean, ATN, ATN is hit or miss. That fumble is. That fumble within the 5-yard line has been. It seems like this team has been under a spell ever since that happened. This team just has not looked the same ever since he fumbled that ball against Miami. So I mean, listen, I know it's week 2, but if it was me and I saw that we were struggling, we would have to have an offensive team meeting, just the players only, and where we just gotta call each other out. We gotta, let some, hit the fan and curse each other out, but it's got to get fixed. I mean, you can't throw in the towel after week 2. You got 15 more games to go, but you can't keep playing the way you playing like that and feel good about yourself as a team. And you can't allow it to happen again. So, I mean, there needs to be an offensive team players only meeting where you just let guys know, hey, man, and be honest with yourself. I'm not playing well. And it should start with Trevor. Trevor say, hey, listen, I'm not playing well. I've got to play better, but I'll be damned if it's just me. You guys got to pick it up. Offensive line got to pick it up. Wide receivers got to get open. Running backs got to hit the hole. I mean, if it was me, I would have to have that kind of meeting because you cannot have that again in this season if you want to go to where you want to go as a team.
You've told me stories from your college days and your NFL days where the offense and the defense would get into it because one side was performing well, the other side was not, and they were losing games because of it. Leon, the defense has been fine. Maybe a little bend but don't break, but aside from a Tyreek Hill 80-yarder, I mean, this defense has played well enough to win 2 football games. The offense has let them down. Now, being in the locker room earlier this week, the defensive guys were saying all the right things, but there will come a point if this continues where that becomes a problem, will it not?
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I was on the team. I was on the Miami Hurricane team where we played Boston College, and we beat them 18-14, and the offense struggled the whole game. And I remember Jesse Armstead on the plane. We were 30,000 feet in the air. Jesse Armstead said, hey, offense, y'all need to pick that blank up because we almost lost the game. And I tell you what, we fought. We were 11-0, and we fought on the plane, and we were 11-0. Okay, we got in the fight because we almost lost, not because we lost, because we almost lost. So I know those kind of tensions in the locker room are because if you're out there giving your heart, because listen, if you're the defensive unit, you're watching the game, and if you're seeing the offensive line getting ramshacked throughout the whole game, you're asking yourself, hey, bro, you need to pick it up. You absolutely need to pick it up. And because they see it, I mean, because they watch the game. And if they get beat like a drum up front, and you see that, man, I mean, you to be honest, you lose respect for that player. If he's constantly giving up pressure, giving up sacks, giving up tackles for loss, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, there could be some decision in the locker room, especially if they don't get it going, especially during the game where you had a series where Cleveland went 16 plays and a touchdown, 11 plays and a field goal, and then the offense goes 3 and out. You can't have that. I mean, because the defense is going to wear it down. It's absolutely going to wear it down. So, yeah, if you're on the defensive side of the ball, man, listen, as much as you love your teammates and respect them, you got to tell them, hey, man, you need to pick this stuff up. Whatever you're doing is not good enough. You got to hold yourself. You got to hold the defense. Got to hold the offense accountable, especially if they cost them football games.
Final moments with Leon Searcy. Leon, that brings us to Monday night on the road in an environment like Buffalo. A lot of the Jaguars have not played in a primetime road environment like this. You think all the second-year guys, they were at home for a couple of primetime games last year. I guess they had one Thursday nighter on the road, but that's a little different than a Monday night game in Buffalo. What would be your advice to the environment they're going into next Monday night?
Well, it's got to be a business trip, and it's got to be a bar fight. That's the only way, because I'm telling you what the Buffalo Bills are doing. If they're watching the film on the offensive side of the ball, they're looking at the offensive line and saying, man, they're soft. They get pressure, they give up pressure, they can't run block, they play high, they don't play physical with their hands, they don't sink their hips. Oh, we're gonna tee off on these guys. We're gonna punch them. They're gonna say we're gonna punch them in the mouth. And this offensive line, when they go up against big physical off defensive fronts, they, instead of rising to the occasion, they shrink. They wither. So, I mean, unless you change that narrative, and the only way you change that narrative is that you got to put on your big boy pants and get ready for a fist fight. Until you change that narrative, that's going to be defensive fronts are going to attack our offensive lines on every occasion they get, because they know they won't respond well.
Leon, as we wrap up, Mitch Morse, Gabe Davis return to Buffalo. Can they help the Jaguars defense this week with tendencies from some of their old teammates?
No. Jaguars tried that with me when I came to Pittsburgh. When I came from Pittsburgh, they asked me, hey, Leon, do you know anything? I said, it won't matter. You can't stop it. You still got to go out there and block it. I mean, I can give you all the little tidbits that you want, but you still got to block it. And so, I mean, they can give them little tidbits or little tips here or there, whatever, but you still got to stop it. I mean, the information may be there, but you still got to play the game, and I don't know how helpful that could be, but I'm sure they're trying to get some kind of information from them.
I'm taking Buffalo. I've made no bones about it. I would be stunned if Jacksonville goes up there and wins. Buffalo's been beaten by this Jags team the last couple of years. They don't like Jacksonville. They think the Jacksonville Jaguars are a thorn in their side, or whatever verbiage you want to use. They probably smell blood in the water, and they get them in Orchard Park. I'm taking the Bills. Do you echo that, or do you think Jacksonville can pull off the upset?
No, the Bills are going to win this game. Yeah, they're going to. I think they're going to win this game convincingly.
I would tend to agree with you, and that'll make for a very interesting fifth quarter. We will be doing it 2 hours after the Jaguars and the Bills go final, Monday night into Tuesday morning. You'll get Leon Searcy, the head coach, Dave Campo, and myself, hopefully talking about a win, but certainly Leon and I are not expecting that up there in upstate New York. Leon, I know you're busy. Thank you for the time, buddy. We'll talk again soon.
You got it.
There you go. Leon Searcy here with us weekly on Hacker After Dark. And, 2 hours after the Jaguars and the Bills go final, myself, the head coach Dave Campo, and Leon Searcy early into Tuesday morning, 2 hours after the game ends, we will have the fifth quarter for you on 1010XL. Denmark, I've done enough of those over the years to where I know without a shadow of a doubt, if the Jaguars lose that game, the fifth quarter will be kind of a moratorium. If the Jaguars somehow win that game and pull off an upset, boy, what a fifth quarter we're going to have. Those primetime games go one way or the other, and there is not a lot of middle ground. Look, it's only Wednesday, right? We still got 5 days before the game. I'm going Buffalo. I've said that all week. I hope I'm wrong, but how on earth can you pick Jacksonville with the way their offense is playing? Are you going Buffalo on Monday night?
Yeah, I can't. I mean, unless I'm only saying the Jags if I think something miraculous is going to happen. I don't see that happening. So I think Buffalo wins comfortably.
Now, the one thing, look, you watch Josh Allen enough, you watch Buffalo enough over the years in the regular season, they'll look like the best team in the NFL one week, and they'll look like hot garbage the next week. There's no rhyme or reason to it. They just have bad games. They looked pretty darn good their last time out Thursday night against Miami. But, again, this Jaguar team has beaten them, the Urban Meyer year, last year in London. They get them in Orchard Park. They get them on a Monday night. That's just hard for me to see Jacksonville going in there and winning, unless, of course, like I said earlier, Trevor Lawrence potentially has a Trevor Lawrence game. More analysis on the Jaguars. I also want to look around the division as well. Look around the rest of the AFC South. Keep in mind, Indianapolis 0-2, and they got injury problems. DeForest Buckner got placed on IR yesterday, so Indy's got problems. Tennessee is 0-2. Will Levis has been bad at times for them. Houston is 2-0, leads the division by 2 games already. I don't think they've been great. They've been the best the South had to offer, but 29-27 and a win over the Colts, 19-13 and a win over the Bears. By no means has Houston looked like world beaters, but they're finding ways to win where every other team is not finding ways to win, and that's why they have a 2-game lead in the AFC South. So let's talk Jags. Let's talk South as well with JP Acosta of SB Nation, one of my favorites to talk ball with. JP's up and coming in the industry, and he's good, man. I love having him on Hacker After Dark, and he joins us next on a Wednesday evening here in the city of Jacksonville with Dylan Denmark, the Hacker Ryan Green with you. Jaguar Talk, NFL Talk continues. JP Acosta, SB Nation, next on Hacker After Dark.
He's our pathfinder through the weeds of quarterback chaos.
I'm Denny Thompson, and they call me the quarterback whisperer.
He shares his insights Friday mornings on The Drip. Brought to you by Tyson Sound and Security and George Moore Chevrolet on 1010XL.
Ever wondered what heaven smells like? Come explore Crowned Head Cigars on Saturday, September 21st from 1 to 4 p.m. at Tobacco Cove, 3849 Bay Meadows Road, and find out. We've got the Mil Diaz, so smooth it's like a spa day for your taste buds. The Mil Diaz Maduro, rich enough to make a chocolate bar jealous. And Tim Osgener's Aramis, so bold they'll make you rethink your life's choices. As always, there will be great deals, food, and prizes you'll want to brag about. See you at Tobacco Cove, where every puff is a party.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool? Today's contestant, a dust bunny breeder from Jacksonville, Florida, meet Steve Johnson.
Welcome to the show, Steve. It's great to be here, Alex.
Yeah, you don't have to answer in the form of a question, Steve.
What is this game show?
See, that's another question.
Are you going to ask me about air conditioners?
Yeah, okay. How about we just send the Bueller guys over and you can annoy them with all your questions? Johnny?
That's right, Steve. Bueller Air and Plumbing can answer all your air conditioning questions. Repair options, replacement models, and how to make your AC last longer while saving electricity. Making sure you are cool.
Where is the parking lot?
You're killing me, Steve.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
It's the best time of the year again. It's football season, and with football season here, fantasy football has arrived. And forget the season-long leagues. Underdog Fantasy and the Underdog Fantasy app is the way to go. I've been playing it now for almost a year, and it is just suits me to a T. First of all, it's simple, right? Just choose higher or lower on statistical projections or compete against others in player v player fantasy games. Either way, there's so many options. There's research there on the site. It's easy to use, and right now, you can get a little bit extra. That's right. Go to the mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with the promo code PROSSER. They're going to give you a special to use on your first contest and a deposit offer. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code PROSSER, and claim your new customer offer. Do it right now, plus a first-time deposit offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Got to be 18 or over, got to be present in the state where it's played, and call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org if you have a problem.
Hey folks, this is Dave Benyon with my son Ammon here from Zero Res. Ammon, you've been cleaning air ducts for a while now. What are some of the reasons customers might consider getting their air ducts cleaned?
There are many reasons. Many times, people suffer needlessly from poor indoor air quality produced by the conditions in their air system. Construction dust, the presence of bacterial growth, and years' worth of buildup all come together to make your air ducts a pretty gross place. If you suffer from allergies, have recently moved, recently remodeled, or have never had your air ducts cleaned, then now is the best time to call. By calling Zero Res, you'll have the peace of mind of knowing that you called the best of the best. Our state-of-the-art truck mount system and top-of-the-line service representatives simply can't be found anywhere else. Google Zero Res and read thousands of 5-star reviews.
So what kind of deals can I expect?
Just mention that you heard us on the radio, and we'll give you $100 off your air duct cleaning.
Wow, that sounds like a pretty great deal. Remember, folks, Zero Res,
spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
CEROREC, Zero Res.
It's the Sporting Jacks Soccer Hour. Join Cole Pepper, Mauricio Ruiz, and Becky Burley as they discuss the latest in the world of soccer, including Sporting Jacks bringing pro men's and women's soccer to Jacksonville. Tuesday nights at 6 on 1010 a.m.
When it comes to selling your home, it can be stressful. Take the stress out with my friends Chad and Sandy Newman. Maybe you're worried you won't sell your home for the price you need. How's this for a guarantee? Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they'll buy it. No required costly repairs. Pick your move date. There are no long-term contracts, and you can cancel at any time. Mortgage rates are down, creating more active buyers and sellers, and if you've been waiting, now is a great time to sell your home. Take Kim in Palm Coast. I needed to move closer to family ASAP, but I had to sell my Palm Coast home first. I tried and failed with another agent. So my family said, you got to call Chad and Sandy. Well, sure enough, as promised, Chad and Sandy did it. They sold my home in 3 days, above asking price. Call the local Jacksonville experts I trust and recommend. Call Chad and Sandy today at 904-414-6200 or go to chadandsandy.com. That's Chad, ANDSANDY.com.
Hello, I'm Malcolm Anthony. I've been practicing criminal defense law for over 40 years. It's what I love to do, what I do well. Stay out of trouble, but if you don't, call me, Malcolm Anthony, at 285-4LAW. 285-4LAW for Malcolm Anthony.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Get off the ladder and put on the helmet with Gutter Helmet of North Florida. We are family owned and manufactured locally. Cleaning your gutters is a dangerous and dirty job. That's why with Gutter Helmet, you'll never clean your gutters again. Water goes in your gutters while trash and debris go on the ground. It won't collect like filters do. Gutter Helmet protects. Call now for 10% off and a free gutter cleaning and tune-up with your purchase of Gutter Helmet. Call 904-762-7779.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville, we are glad you are with us. The Jaguars sit 0-2 on the year. Unfortunately, the schedule gets tougher. They go into Buffalo on Monday night, then at Houston. Could the Jaguars really be staring at an 0-4 start? They're certainly going to be underdogs in the next two games. What has gone wrong in weeks 1 and 2? And maybe the more important question, how do the Jaguars fix it moving forward? Let's talk about it with JP Acosta of SB Nation, always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. JP, how you doing?
I'm doing. Yeah, I'm certainly doing all right. I'm doing all right.
You're better than a lot of Jaguar fans, I would imagine. There's no doubt about that. All right, I've seen you on social media getting your reaction to some of the things you watched on film. JP, what the big question here is very simple, man. What is wrong with the Jaguar offense?
Oh, man, where do we begin? The first problem I want to start with is the play calling, and it's not just because of what plays are called. I think this Jaguars team has no vision offensively. They have no foundation. There's nothing that they are good at that they can hang their hat on. You think about teams like, you think about all the Shanahan-McVay teams, they are based off of that wide zone, that outside zone, and everything is built off of that. That is their day one install. What do the Jaguars base their offense in? What is the vision? What is the idea for this offense? That frames all of your sequencing, all of your play calling, all the design. It just feels like the Jaguars are out there just running a collection of plays. It's like you're in Madden and you're playing against some 12-year-old from Topeka, and you're just choosing plays at random because, oh, this one might work, this one might not. But there is no idea. There's no concept to the passing plays. There's no concept to the run game. So that has a negative trickle-down effect on everyone else on the team. So the problems start there. And then I think this offensive line is just taking a massive, massive step back. And then from there, you get to the quarterback who's seemingly lost trust in both the offensive line and the play calling. But it all starts up top with Doug Peterson and Press Taylor.
You know, you alluded to it. The two biggest issues right here, at least for the fan base, is the O-line and then Peterson and Taylor. And let's begin with Peterson and Taylor. The offense is not working, and people need to blame somebody. So the play calling has taken a lot of criticism. You just criticized it a little bit yourself. And what was interesting, JP, look, I've seen Doug Peterson hold a lot of press conferences in his time here in Jacksonville. On Sunday after that Cleveland game, he looked almost like a deer in headlights, man. He looked lost. He didn't really know what to say. It was a lot of short answers. I don't know if he has an answer to what's going on. It was pretty striking, to be honest.
Yeah, it is a man who has run out of answers, but also created a lot of the questions. Like, it's one thing to be like, oh, I have nothing left I can do with this team, but you're the one who helped build the team and help put the team together for this year. You knew the flaws going in, and it seems like they have never been able to mask those flaws, those inefficiencies very well on the offensive side of the ball. So he looks defeated. And at that point, if he's defeated, then again, like I said, that trickle-down effect has a problem with everybody else. I mean, we can sit here until we're blue in the face talking about who calls plays, Press Taylor or Doug Peterson. But at this point, they're the same person. They run the same offense. So if it's not Press, then it's Doug. If it's not Doug, then it's both of them. Everyone here is to blame for this poor start.
JP Acosta of SB Nation. JP, one of the things that I'm personally upset about is, you know, I praise Trent Baalke almost every night here on my program. I said Baalke's offseason was masterclass, and I still think it was very good. I mean, the only issue to me was losing Ridley, but as a result of losing Ridley, they drafted Brian Thomas, and we'll get to him in a moment. For some reason, they're just deciding not to throw him the ball, which is interesting. But the one question about Trent Baalke and his offseason, even I had it when I was praising him, was the offensive line. People here thought the O-line was going to be an issue, and shame on me, I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I said, look, trust Trent. They go out and bring in Mitch Morse, and they re-sign Ezra Cleveland. And look, I don't think the offensive line has been putrid, but it hasn't been good in the first 2 weeks, which is almost an indictment of the guy making the decisions, is it not?
Yeah, it's an indictment of the person making the decisions and the person who is building the roster and the personnel. This is the second year in a row that they have gone into a season thinking the offensive line is better than it actually is, and it has consistently gotten worse. You look at yesterday, and Cam Robinson was brutal yesterday. Anton Harrison had a rough week 1. So now it's coming from everywhere on the offensive line. The development track is seemingly stopping right in the middle. And I think at that point, you start to question the talent acquisition because you can't keep doing this. You cannot go into another year with a poor offensive line, especially after you just paid your quarterback a whole bunch of money. At that point, you're putting your investment at risk.
You know, one of the things, and let's talk about that quarterback and Trevor Lawrence with a $275 million contract. Look, his word is law here in Jacksonville, right? Other than Shad Khan, the owner, I mean, the buck stops with Trevor after that investment, and that is over to me. The offensive coordinator, the head coach, any of his teammates. I mean, Trevor is the guy here, and that contract symbolizes that he's the guy. And look, Trevor is very even-keeled normally after losses. Well, he was angry on Sunday. He was mad. You could tell he was ticked. He flat out said, "We suck right now." That is as animated as I've seen Trevor Lawrence look. And I think almost that's a good thing. You know, when we go into the post game and Trevor's talking about, well, we got to watch the film and we got to make our corrections and we got to get better. And yeah, he said some of that on Sunday, JP, but he also said we suck right now. He also said, you know, guys got to look in the mirror. Guys got to take accountability. He was very short with his answers. I almost liked seeing an angry side of Trevor because we very rarely see that.
Yeah, I think it's about time that the quarterback, that Lawrence, kind of steps up and, like you said, shows a little bit of anger, shows a little bit of fire. This is the first adversity that Trevor Lawrence really has faced ever in his entire football career. You know, I think there was a stat that the Jaguars haven't won in, I believe, 924 days. They haven't won a game in a long time. And it's longer than it's the longest streak for Trevor Lawrence's entire career, going all the way back to high school. So this is the adversity that he is finally facing. And now we begin to see the quarterback that he is and the leader that he is. So I think it's about time that he steps up and shows a little bit of fire because nobody else on this team is really acting like it.
Yeah, Trevor hasn't won a game as a starting quarterback in the league since the Sunday after Thanksgiving last year because the 5 out of 6 loss to end the year, Trevor didn't start that game. It was C.J. Beathard. So you have to go back to the end of November in 2023 to where Trevor Lawrence won a football game. The Jaguars are 1-7 in their last 8 games out. JP Acosta of SB Nation. JP, that brings me to Brian Thomas and Christian Kirk, and I know you've done a lot of film study. That's one of the things you do, and I enjoy your work there. Why are they not throwing Brian Thomas the ball? Why are they not throwing Christian Kirk the ball? Those guys were targeted. If you include the Kirk touchdown that got called back due to penalty, those guys were targeted 8 times, where Gabe Davis and Brenton Strange were targeted 13 times. I'm never going to be confused for a play caller, but that seems like a bad idea to not target Brian Thomas Jr. and Christian Kirk.
So I think part of it this week was game plan specific. I think going in without Evan Ingram, the Browns knew the largest viable receiving target was Christian Kirk, and I think he just got doubled for most of the game. And they banked on other receivers not being able to make plays. The Brian Thomas Jr. stuff is really weird. He is your most explosive receiving target, but he's often used as a decoy. And I think there are some times where they try and get the ball to him, like the safety yesterday was a designed shot play to Brian Thomas, and he gets open. But the problem is the offensive line doesn't hold up. It is my biggest thought in football that if your offensive line is bad, you cannot throw the ball downfield. If you cannot protect, then that completely neuters your entire offense. And that happened on the safety. You know, Brian Thomas Jr. gets open, but the offensive line doesn't hold up. There's no protection, and it's ultimately a wasted play. I do think that the Jaguars offense can get a little bit more into using play action and using that aspect of offense to help ease a little bit of the stress on the offensive line, and then take your shots downfield using play action because they can't do it in straight drop back situations. So I think that'll be more than likely how they get Brian Thomas Jr. involved. But you're right. Both guys need to see more targets, especially if Evan Ingram is out for any extended period of time.
You know, and the positive side, the defense has been good, right? I mean, they were kind of bend but don't break against Cleveland. They allowed 3 field goals, only 1 touchdown. The opening drive touchdown is the only time the Browns saw the end zone. But you do wonder. I mean, there's good leadership in that locker room. There's good character in that locker room. So I don't think it's going to happen in the near future, assuming the offense gets their act together. But let's be honest. The defense has played well enough to win both of these games. They have lost these games because of the offense, and you just wonder at some point when that's going to become sort of an issue.
This defense has been phenomenal to start the first 2 weeks of the season. I think they're 11th in success rate allowed, which is – it's not elite defense, but it's very good. I mean, they only allowed 18 points on Sunday. That is good enough to win you an NFL game. I mean, the first game of the season, the Cowboys gave up 33. No, the Cowboys gave up 17 to the Browns. But the problem with is the Browns gave up 33. Those are the type of things you're expecting to see from good teams. The Jaguars defense has played great. It's played amazing. And now, you know, you start to wonder, like, why is the new defensive coordinator having to carry this offense through mires of inefficiency and just overall murkiness when this offense has been the same for the last 3 years? And those are the questions that I'm asking to the Jaguars, especially because, like you said, this defense has been phenomenal. And I don't think it'll happen. There are too many high character guys in that locker room, but eventually you're going to start to show some cracks. The defense is going to get tired of being out there all the time. So they got to figure it out for the sake of their defense. Their offense has to help the defense.
Final moments, JP Acosta of SB Nation. Look, the NFL is about matchups, right? And on paper, it doesn't look good moving forward for the Jags. We'll see about the injury problems. But that aside, at Buffalo, at Houston. But then you see, like, Las Vegas go into Baltimore. Who would have ever thought the Raiders would go into Baltimore and win a game? I mean, it's the NFL. Anything can happen. My concern about next Monday night, JP, is this. I got buddies up in Buffalo, WGR Radio, that are telling me the talk up there already is the Jaguars have our number. We haven't beat Jacksonville in however many times. Now we finally get them in Orchard Park on a Monday night. I just get a feeling that Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, based on what Jacksonville has done to them the last couple of years, they are going to be ready to see the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, it is. It's honestly kind of funny how this Jaguars team, this Jaguars franchise has seemingly had the Bills' number recently. But if you've seen anything from the Bills in the last couple of weeks, there's no reason to not choose Buffalo in this game. They have been a buzzsaw to start this season. And even though their defense is missing a lot of guys, they were able to shut down Miami for that entire game. So it's going to be really crucial for the Jaguars just to get any level of execution on offense, because I don't know if the defense is going to be able to hold on for that long against a guy like Josh Allen.
JP Acosta of SB Nation. JP, tell the good folks here in Jacksonville about your coverage and where they can find your work.
You can find my work at SB Nation. You can find me on social media at Acosta32_JP. I actually just wrote a story about the Jaguars and the mess that they are in. So make sure you follow along with that. Just see what I'm doing, see where I'm going.
JP, we always appreciate it. It's a busy time of year. Thank you for taking time out for us. We'll talk again soon, my friend.
Thank you.
Get the coach's perspective.
Constant improvement, every day, every week.
Doug Peterson joins the Frangie Show Fridays at 4:05.
Build that championship culture.
Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson, custom windows and doors on 1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Hey, Hicken here. I couldn't be any happier than to join the George Moore Chevrolet family. When I say family, I mean it. Visit their beautiful showroom today off Atlantic Boulevard. Find out exactly what I'm talking about. No pressure, just friendly help. And whether you want a car, a truck, SUV, electric, pre-owned, you name it, George Moore Chevrolet has it. And if you can't make it over to Atlantic Boulevard, no problem. MooreChevy.com is easy to navigate as any site you will try. It's never been more easy to use. George Moore Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Electricians, innovators, and tech enthusiasts, listen up. Miller Electric is shaping the future, and we want you to be a part of it. From healthcare and data centers, corporate offices, aviation, and industrial facilities, Miller Electric is powering the most exciting projects in Jacksonville and beyond. We offer not just a job, but a thrilling career with great pay and incredible benefits. Visit us at millercareers.com to apply. Miller Electric, where your skills meet our vision, and equal opportunity employer.
Rita, Jorge, let's bring the nail gun over here.
Jose stands tall atop his sustainable flooring company.
Totally. It's renewable and moisture resistant, but we have several green options too. Or we got some beautiful reclaimed oak.
But floored by his success, he needs to hire more installers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hey, sports fans, it's Hayes Carlyon for MyBookie. Football is back. Winning season is back. MyBookie's here to make sure you're ready to cash in on the action. This season, MyBookie is pulling out all the stops with incredible promotions like weekly risk-free boosts on Thursdays, where you can bet without a sweat. If your bet hits, you win big, and if it doesn't, forget it. MyBookie will refund your wager. But that's just the beginning. MyBookie is giving away hundreds of thousands in prizes with their Super Survivor and Squares contests. Get your entries in now for a shot at huge cash rewards. For a limited time, they are bringing back the double deposit bonus when you're ready to get started. Use my promo code 1010XL to claim a bonus that doubles your money on your very first deposit with promo code 1010XL before you even place a bet. Remember, exclusive giveaways and bigger rewards. MyBookie is the lock of the century. Bet on anything, anywhere, anytime, and make sure your season is a winning one.
Florida homeowners are going to extreme lengths to stay cool this summer.
We sit in front of the refrigerator with the door open and only eat frozen foods while they're still frozen and put ice cubes down our pants. Whoa, that's cold.
But the most popular and cost-effective way can be summed up by a quack. Just call Duck Duck Air Conditioning. For AC repairs to new installations, you too can beat the Florida heat with Duck Duck Air Conditioning. Jacksonville area's AC experts. Trust the Duck to keep your cooling costs low. DuckDuckAC.com.
Homeowners, good news for you. Accent on 4. Listen up. Loan Pronto now has mortgage rates that start with a 4. Prosser here. It's true. Mortgage rates have plummeted. So low, we haven't seen them in a long time. If your current rate is over 6%, you can dump it and lower your house payment big time. Loan Pronto just locked in a homeowner at 4.99% APR. So whether you got your loan last week, last month, or last year, it's time to call Loan Pronto. Even if you're in process with another lender, stop now. Call Loan Pronto. Ask about their zero-cost rate reduction home loan. You can lock in a lower rate with no closing costs in a matter of days, with almost no paperwork and usually no appraisal. And if you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Call now. Loan Pronto can give you a rate quote in minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call 904-999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Call 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Owner approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Don't bet the National Football League this season without your VSiN NFL betting guide. Betting previews for all 32 teams, betting trends, VSiN's exclusive in-depth win total projections, and a guide on how to use betting splits to bet and win. Download your free copy of the guide right now, featuring a betting preview of your Jacksonville Jaguars. 1010XL.com. That's 1010XL.com.
Hacker here, and I've got something to celebrate. Honestly, I never thought I'd be able to say this. I'm on the countdown to dropping 100 pounds. Yes, sir. 90 pounds already, thanks to Awaken 180 weight loss, and I'm just 3 weeks away from hitting the big 100. The best part? I'm reaching that 100 mark in months, not years. Life-changing and life-saving. No doubt about it. I had pretty much given up on trying, but now I'm going to be here for my son, my wife, my family, and most importantly, for myself. I'm living my life to the fullest, and I didn't know just how easy it was to make happen with Awaken 180. When I hit that 100-pound mark, we're going to celebrate big. I'll keep you updated every week as I get closer, and you can even join in on the celebration. Details to come. In the meantime, pick up the phone and make your own 180. Call 844-346-1800 or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Into the 9 o'clock hour we go. We'll take you up till 10 o'clock as we do every night here. Hacker After Dark, 1010XL, 92.5 FM. I figure you guys know this by now, but it never hurts to remind you from time to time that every show here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM stream on numerous social media platforms for your viewing pleasure. It's all part of the MyBookie digital platform on Twitter/X, YouTube, Facebook, you name it. Just search 1010XL, and every night you'll see Hacker After Dark on all of those platforms. You can watch, stream, listen to, however you want to do it, along with every other program that we have here from 6 in the morning all the way up until 10 o'clock at night. Monday through Friday. Florida State and Cal comes up Saturday night at Doak Campbell Stadium in Tallahassee. 0-3 are the Florida State Seminoles. 3-0 are the Cal Golden Bears. How about Cal's travel itinerary? 2 weeks ago, they played a game at Auburn where they flew across the country, and they won that game. Now they're coming back to the East Coast to play Florida State. Boy, Florida State's the favorite in this game. The 0-3 Seminoles hosting the 3-0 Cal Golden Bears. We'll talk Florida State football, kind of where are we, how did we get here, and maybe more importantly, where do they go from here after the 0-3 start? Logan Robinson of Knoll Game Day, which is, of course, a Sports Illustrated website that covers Florida State football. He joins us coming up at the bottom of the 9 o'clock hour to, I guess, try to give a little positivity, although there's not very much when it comes to Florida State. I've told you guys all week, I'm shocked that Florida State went from preseason top 10 to 0-3. And you look at that schedule at Notre Dame, Clemson, right? Miami. I think North Carolina's on there. You got to start wondering, I mean, at SMU is going to be tough. Heck, I think Cal's going to be tough on Saturday. Is Florida State going to go to a bowl game? I mean, from here on out, they got to go 6-3 in their last 9 to go to a bowl game. If you assume you don't like their chances against Miami, I would say you probably don't like their chances at Notre Dame. Do you like their chances against Clemson the way things are going right now? Ugh, I don't know. I'm not sure if they're going bowling or not. We'll see. I almost can guarantee you Florida's not going bowling. They play Mississippi State on Saturday, and yet the Gators are a favorite in that game too, which is interesting. So more college talk coming up at the bottom of the 9 o'clock hour. Coming up next, a little Friday Night Lights talk. Big weekend of high school football on the horizon. And one of the biggest games of the season to this point will take place in St. Johns County. You know, back in the day, Tim Tebow and Nice versus Brandon James and St. Augustine was an enormous, enormous deal. I don't know if we're back to that yet, but I'll tell you this. 2 of the best teams in Northeast Florida are going to go at it in St. Johns County on Friday night. Nice at St. Augustine. The head coach of the Nice Panthers is Colin Drafts. He joins me to preview what should be the game of the night in high school football Friday night. So a little Florida State talk in 20 minutes, a little high school talk with Nice High School head coach Colin Drafts coming up next. Wednesday night, Hacker After Dark, right here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM.
If you're on the prowl for exclusive updates and insight, get your fill on Jaguars Today.
I like it, I like it.
With Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony, 10 to noon weekdays.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios at
1010XL.
I've been talking for a while now that I'm approaching 100 pounds of weight loss. 100 pounds, man. And it's all thanks to Awaken 180 weight loss. I was lost. I was in a funk. I mean, those of you that used to watch the stream that I just mentioned about or saw me out and about, I was 317 pounds on February 20th. And then I started Awaken 180 weight loss. I'm 222 pounds, I believe is what I was this morning. I'm approaching 100 pounds of weight loss, thanks to the best weight loss program I've ever been on, Awaken 180. If it's time for you to lose weight like it was for me, do yourself a favor. Go to awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com. That company, that program has changed my life. They've probably saved my life. You could be next. Awaken 180 weight loss.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation. Light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to carlsondentalgroup.com. That's carlsondentalgroup.com for all of your dental needs.
It's time to take it back to the 90s, Jags fans. Be at the bank Sunday, October 6th, as we debut our Prowler throwback jerseys against the Colts and induct legendary head coach Tom Coughlin into the pride of the Jaguars at halftime. Kickoff is set for 1 p.m. You're not going to want to miss this matchup. Lock in your seats now by going to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000.
It's the best time of the year again. It's football season, and with football season here, fantasy football has arrived. And forget the season-long leagues. Underdog Fantasy and the Underdog Fantasy app is the way to go. I've been playing it now for almost a year, and it is just suits me to a T. First of all, it's simple, right? Just choose higher or lower on statistical projections or compete against others in player-v-player fantasy games. Either way, there's so many options. There's research there on the site. It's easy to use, and right now, you can get a little bit extra. That's right. Go to the mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with the promo code PROSSER. They're going to give you a special to use on your first contest and a deposit offer. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code PROSSER, and claim your new customer offer. Do it right now, plus a first-time deposit offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Got to be 18 or over, got to be present in the state where it's played, and call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org if you have a problem.
After a storm passes, the assessment of the aftermath begins. Sometimes damage to the roof is obvious, like leaks or missing shingles, broken or damaged gutters, or tree debris. But storm damage is not always as clearly present. Universal Roofing Contracting is here to help and will come assess your roof for any hidden damage. Call Universal Roof to schedule your free roof inspection at 855-ROOF-HELP or visit universalroof.com. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
Like to learn how to fly an airplane? Well, you're not alone. High Flying Jacko here, inviting you to listen Sunday morning. We'll start your aviation career with a 60-minute ride on the airwaves of 1010XL. The High Flying Show, Sunday at 9 on 1010XL.
Hey, Hicken here. Are you tired of having your carpets professionally cleaned only to have them looking dingy again? Zero Res can help. I'll tell you what, they have the technology. Zero Res uses its patented ZR water that cleans beautifully without using any soaps, detergents, or shampoos. That means zero residue left behind. And guess what? Zero Res falling back in time for September. 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $129, and we'll clean a 4th room for free. That's right. The 4th room is on me. Zero Res, man. Spell it forward. Zero Res, spell it backwards. It's a right way to clean.
Hey, Carline here. If you're like me in the fall, you want to watch football, not clean. Enter Molly Maid, voted Bold City Best Cleaning Service 3 years in a row. Molly Maid is reliable, friendly, and thorough. Visit mollymaid.com.
At the First Coast YMCA, you'll find much more than just a gym. We offer many ways to help you be active, reach weight loss goals, and find your inner strength while you connect with your community. Family memberships at the Y include unlimited group exercise classes, childcare while you work out, and youth sports participation. It's easy to join the Y and affordable for all. Plus, the Y is a great place to meet a new circle of friends. Visit the Y near you or online at fcymca.org.
The average cost associated with childhood cancer is a startling $833,000. This is Tom Coughlin, and September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. Help the J Fund raise awareness to help our neighbors and community members tackling this devastating disease. Visit tcjfund.org/September for more information.
In its final year, we encourage you to help create great futures for young people when you run or walk at Mackenzie's Run, Saturday, November 23rd. Join Boys and Girls Club of Northeast Florida for a 5K and 1 mile fun run through the beautiful stadium course at TPC Sawgrass. Enjoy food, live music, face painting, family fun, and more at our Runners Village. Register at mackenziesrun.org. Mackenzie's 5K and Fun Run, November 23rd. mackenziesrun.org.
There's certain places you know if you go in, they got what you're looking for, like Gate Convenience Stores and Cold Modelo's. That's the ticket. Or get on the craft side of things with something from Bold City or Sweetwater. Hit the cooler at Gate, full of choices and all of them good.
Time now for a medical recap. A health and wellness tip from Jaguars head team physician Dr. Kevin Kaplan.
Strength and resistance training are some of the best forms of exercise you can do to strengthen your muscles and improve your body composition. It may also lead to important improvements in metabolic health, meaning your blood sugar levels are easier to manage, and it also increases how many calories you burn at rest. The Physical Activity Guidelines for Americans recommends resistance training twice per week in addition to cardio training. Let's get fit, Jacksonville.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it.
Back here on 1010XL at 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The Friday Night Lights are a couple of days away, and there is a big one in St. Johns County. One of the best teams in the area so far this season are the Nice Panthers. They have put together some really nice wins, including what may have been their best performance last Friday in a dominating win over Fletcher. The head coach of Nice is Colin Drafts, and he's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL Radio. Coach, how we doing?
Doing great. Always a pleasure to be on and talk some Panther football, and looking forward to an exciting matchup on Friday for sure.
Yeah, Coach, St. Augustine on Friday, and we'll certainly get into that. But let's talk about your team, your guys right now. 39-0 over Fletcher. I mean, I told you this on Friday night. Not surprised you won the game. Fletcher doesn't lose a lot of games, 39-0. I mean, was that your best performance of the season?
Yeah, I think it probably was. I mean, man, we've been playing some really good football. Keep on talking about how confident our guys are right now, which is really exciting to see. And just all three phases. I mean, we started the game with a great drive and got some points, and then immediately, the first time our defense is on the field, they force a turnover, and then we kind of go from there. So, great night of football. And like you said, yeah, I mean, Fletcher's always a good team. They've had our number the past couple of years, and was kind of glad to get over that hump this year and get the win on Friday.
You know, obviously a long way to go, and it's 1 week at a time, and I get that. But, I mean, your resume so far, wins over Ponte Vedra, Creekside, Fletcher. I mean, did you know summer conditioning, fall camp, did you know that you might have something with this team this year?
I definitely did. I think for me, it was definitely at team camp in the July. We go to FCA team camp every July at Southeastern University, and there's 12 teams there. And you talk about some of the best teams in the state of Florida, and left that camp feeling really confident, about how we went toe-to-toe with some of the best teams in the state, and the way our guys responded to tough competition, and just the way things were kind of clicking on offense and coming together on defense, and the guys playing hard. So I felt like we could be good. We knew this is probably the toughest schedule we've ever had in my 6 years at Nice. So we knew we were going to, every week was going to be a battle. But, like you said, to have those, three opponents early in the season and to get a win each week is definitely big for us.
Colin Drafts, the head coach of Nice. You and I talked after your first win, and at that point we talked about all the other teams that get a lot of talk, right? Bartram and Creekside, St. Augustine, right. We'll get to them in a moment. Ponte Vedra, and with good reason. Those are very good teams. Maybe you guys were flying a little bit under the radar. you're not flying under the radar anymore. People are very aware of the Nice Panthers. I mean, what's kind of been the vibe in the locker room knowing that you guys are getting a lot more love out there?
Yeah, I had to take a page right out of Coach Saban's book. I'm sure you've heard it before, but he calls it the rat poison, right? So we talked about that after the first win against Ponte Vedra. When you win that game in our neck of the woods, it's a huge deal. So we had to show up the next week and have every teacher and student and everybody in Nocatee and Palencia telling us how great we are. And I told them, hey, just keep the blinders on. Focus on our process and week to week, just trying to go 1-0 and not reading all the clippings and the medias and the social media telling you how great you are. And they've responded every step of the way and met the challenge, because then you beat Ponte Vedra, then you beat Creekside. Then we had a weird deal, like a lot of the teams the week before. We lost a game due to the weather, so you kind of had that lull and didn't know how we would come out and respond versus a really good Fletcher team that was 3-0. Then obviously they responded accordingly. So we've got a veteran group of guys. We've got over 30 seniors again this year, guys that are leading, guys that have been a part of some really good football seasons the past 4 years. So they know what the expectations are. They know how to get it done, and they continue to prove that week after week early on.
Clearly, the game of the week in the area in Northeast Florida is you guys and St. Augustine. I mean, the two teams that brings back memories of Tim Tebow's teams versus Brandon James' teams back in the day. I mean, what an environment that should be on Friday night down there in St. Johns County.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. I mean, anytime Nice plays St. Augustine, obviously that's a big matchup with the history of the two programs and whatnot. But you talked about it, last week. It's probably the biggest matchup between us two with the year that we're having and that they're having as well, probably in the past decade. So we get to travel down US 1 a couple minutes and have a great matchup on Friday night. Atmosphere is going to be unbelievable, I'm sure, and just we're excited for the opportunity.
Certainly St. Augustine had a lot of acclaim coming into the year. They were state runners-up last year. You guys are looking to get on that level, looking to get that respect. Boy, what would a win on Friday night do for your program as you head into district play?
I mean, obviously that would be huge. I don't know the last time Nice has beaten St. Augustine. I haven't been able to get that mark yet on since I've been at Nice. So it'd be huge for us. But just more importantly, not only if we're able to win this game, but just to kind of keep the train rolling. You know what I mean? Because we've got a big time matchup against St. Augustine. Don't get me wrong, but next week we have Buchholz to open up district play, and then the next game after that we play Bartram. So we've got three just monumental games coming up, and not looking past anybody. But we're going to find out how good we are the next 3 weeks for sure, and so a win would be huge just to keep the momentum going.
Final moments. Colin Drafts, the head coach of Nice. Coach, give us the keys to victory. What needs to happen Friday night for you guys to be victorious?
I think just continue to play our brand of football. We're going to play fast and spread the ball around on offense, pitch and catch to Maddox Spencer and Braden Felder, and then try to get KJ Perry going in the run game and just be attacking on defense as well. Obviously they've got one of the best quarterbacks, if not the best quarterback in the area, in Lachlan Hewlett. So we're going to try to get after him a bit, and hopefully those receivers they have don't make us pay too much. But if we just continue to play our brand of football, which has been confident in attacking, I think we'll have a shot to win the game on Friday.
Two of the best teams in Northeast Florida, good old-fashioned St. Johns County bragging rights on the line, Nice and St. Augustine. Coach, invite them out. You're on the road. You mentioned at St. Augustine. It should be a heck of a scene Friday night. Invite the folks out, Coach.
Absolutely. Game of the week Friday night, Nice versus St. Augustine down at their place. Come on out and watch the Panthers, and hopefully have a good showing.
Colin Drafts, the head coach of the Nice Panthers. Coach, best of luck on Friday night. We hope we're talking to you under the Friday night lights.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Making the game last a little longer.
Join me, Hacker.
And me, Leon Surf. And Coach Campo. 2 hours after the final whistle on game day. It's the Window World of Northeast Florida 5th quarter. Presented by Von Rowan Lawn on 1010XL.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool? Today's contestant, a dust bunny breeder from Jacksonville, Florida, meets Steve Johnson. Welcome to the show, Steve.
It's great to be here, Alex.
Yeah, you don't have to answer in the form of a question, Steve.
What is this game show?
See, that's another question.
Are you going to ask me about air conditioners?
Yeah, okay. How about we just send the Bueller guys over and you can annoy them with all your questions? Johnny?
That's right, Steve. Bueller Air and Plumbing can answer all your air conditioning questions. Repair options, replacement models, and how to make your AC last longer while saving electricity. Making sure you are cool.
Where is the parking lot?
You're killing me, Steve.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Expert Automotive on St. John's Bluff Road has some of the highest Google reviews in Jax for a reason. Expert Auto never sells greed, only what you need. All makes and models are serviced at Expert Automotive. This month, get an alignment inspection for only $19.99. Expert Auto does major engine and transmission repair and simple maintenance. All services done at Expert Auto by our ASC certified training technicians. Call today, 374-3373, and ask about $50 off any service. Expert Automotive. We never sell greed, only what you need.
Facing a DUI charge or even a boating under the influence charge? Well, I'm your man, DUI lawyer Malcolm Anthony at 285-4LAW. 285-4LAW. Once again, 285-4LAW.
Homeowners, good news for you. Accent on 4. Listen up. Loan Pronto now has mortgage rates that start with a 4. Prosser here. It's true. Mortgage rates have plummeted. So low, we haven't seen them in a long time. If your current rate is over 6%, you can dump it and lower your house payment big time. Loan Pronto just locked in a homeowner at 4.99% APR. So whether you got your loan last week, last month, or last year, it's time to call Loan Pronto. Even if you're in process with another lender, stop now. Call Loan Pronto. Ask about their zero-cost rate reduction home loan. You can lock in a lower rate with no closing costs in a matter of days, with almost no paperwork and usually no appraisal. And if you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Call now. Loan Pronto can give you a rate quote in minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call 904-999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Call 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Owner approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Good teachers and coaches get the most out of their scholar athletes. That's why 1010XL salutes the Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
And the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234.
Wednesdays on The Franchi Show. Get Gators play-by-play on 1010XL. Brought to you by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And Renewal by Anderson, custom windows and doors. Proud partner of the Florida Gators.
Thinning or balding hair? Introducing Scalp Micropigmentation now at IHRS. SMP is a procedure for men and women, looks like your own growing hair, and corrects thinning areas. SMP is perfect for men and women who shave their head and want a full head of hair look. Call IHRS now, 904-777-IHRS, 904-777-4477, or visit hairforme.com today.
Here's your 1010XL community calendar of local events and nonprofit groups helping people here at home.
Canines for Warriors provides veterans with lifelong companions in one of their highly trained service dogs. If you know a veteran who could benefit from a companion or simply want to support, visit caninesforwarriors.org.
Your love can give pets a purpose. To adopt a loving animal from the Jacksonville Humane Society, call 725-8766.
Having a mentor can positively change a young life right here in Jacksonville. It only takes 4 to 7 hours a month to be a big brother or big sister and change a life forever. Become a big today at bbbsnefl.org.
There's a critical need for all blood types. Please consider donating to a local blood donation center.
If you could benefit from a grief and loss support group, call Haven Hospice at 279-1677.
You can find out how to share your community event at 1010XL.com. 1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. Cal and Florida State coming up this Saturday. Florida State 0-3. I'm not normally at a loss for words, but I almost am. Florida State 0-3 for, only the second time in a long long time. Of course, the first time was under Mike Norvell as well, back in 2021, I believe. Look, a lot of answers. There are a lot of questions that need to be answered in Tallahassee. Let's go to Logan Robinson. He's one of our guys when it comes to Florida State. You can check his terrific workout at Knoll Game Day, and he's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Logan, I'm stunned by 0-3, man. I mean, what's your reaction?
I think you, along with the rest of the FSU fan base, even us, boots on the ground in Tallahassee, definitely stunned just off of what the demeanor that we're seeing from the team overall, the intrigue to want to go play on Saturdays. It seems like now it's a chore for this team to go out there and perform, which is something that is dreadful. A complete 180 from what you saw in 2023 and a couple of years past as well. And it's kind of starting to look pretty grim moving forward because your season's already shot, but now what is there to fight for? And now it's if you have any kind of pride or integrity within your locker room, that's what you're trying to find now. And, Mike Norvell, I think he read this team pretty badly in a lot of ways going into this season. And he thought he had some leaders. He thought he had some guys with accountability. And point blank, I think that's one of the biggest concerns I had going into this season of you lost so much leadership from the last few seasons, and they all are now off to the league. But these guys that you were expecting to show up, play, show accountability, show leadership aren't doing that for you. Definitely some guys that have been around the program for 4 years as well are not doing that. And it's hurting this team in a lot of different ways. Of course, there's a lot of fundamental play calling, discipline, all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, I think it's going down inside that locker room that is a disease at the moment. When you're 0-3 at Florida State, there's a disease that's hitting you, and it's hitting hard right now.
Logan Robinson of Knoll Game Day. Logan, last year, Mike Norvell could do no wrong, right? I mean, he's courted by Alabama in the offseason. He gets a big extension to come back to Florida State. Everything's great. And then Georgia Tech happens. And then Boston College happens. And then Memphis happens. And now all of a sudden, people are going, well, Mike Norvell's record when Jordan Travis isn't his quarterback and all this stuff. I mean, is the fan base again starting to turn on Mike Norvell?
Well, you bring up the stats with Jordan Travis, and I mean, man, looking at some of those games the last few years with Jordan Travis, saved that offense in so many different ways. And the way that he was able to evade and get away from defenders on the offensive line was absolutely atrocious at times. And we're seeing consistency there under Alex Atkins and no developmental aspects going into the front line of protecting your quarterback. But, I think there's anger from the fan base, as it should be, because you haven't given another quarterback a chance. And I'm sure we'll talk about that in a minute, but you haven't been able to give someone else a chance behind this offense and maybe try to revitalize and try to find new energy, try to find a reason to go out there and block for somebody, or a wide receiver to make a play, or a running back to make a play. Yes, like I said earlier, there's fundamental things of discipline and technique that need to be better as well, and it all comes down to coaching. But right now, you're just trying to find a way to show life. And I think continuing to trot out a quarterback that we've seen the last 4-5 years on the collegiate level not be able to perform above average is rough to see that Norvell continues to be hard-headed on this realm and continue to go with DJ at the quarterback. When you have a guy like Brock Glenn, who has shown some developmental stuff from you in practices. You saw a little bit of growth there, and you're facing Georgia in an Orange Bowl. I don't grade anything for Brock Glenn last year, but this team, I think, will fight more for Brock Glenn. And you spend time recruiting him. What are you showing to your recruiting class now moving forward? It's NIL contracts. All of these collectives, I think there was bad contracts built out for a lot of these players, including your starting quarterback that you might end up actually seeing face Cal on Saturday for his 4th game in a row, which is, I think, going to be I think Mike Norvell, along with the rest of the coaching staff and the Florida State football program, will be a laughing stock if that ends up happening Saturday evening.
Wow, it's interesting you say that. And look, I'm not trying to defend DJU. He has not been good, and I agree. Something needs to be done there. Having said that, they can't run the ball at all. I see a lot of drops. They're not doing very well in pass protection. I mean, this is a offensive problem, right? Not just a DJU problem.
Yes, it's DJ won't fix everything, and you're right. He is not the overall biggest problem on this team. And what's crazy to think of, it's up to the coaching right now. And there's so many different things, both defensively, offensively, even in the special teams outside of your kickers, who Ryan Fitzgerald is growing his NFL draft stock. He might be the only NFL player or only FSU player that gets a shot in this upcoming year's draft. Outside of, Mastromano and Ryan Fitzgerald, you've got mistakes being happen on the special team side of the ball, and then offensively, defensively, we see the flaws left and right. And like I was just starting out with, the Alex Atkins and his offensive line, that's been a major disappointment with the amount of leadership, and not really leadership, but the experience that they bring to the table. And then, you look at the wide receiver room, you look at the tight end room, it starts to add up. And then defensively, outside of probably Joshua Farmer, Darrell Jackson hasn't been what everybody thought he would be coming into this season. You knew you were already thin there, the defensive line unit, but so you were expecting a lot from those guys every Saturday. Your edge rush, Marvin Jones Jr. has not been a great addition to this roster. Probably your only good transfer that you brought in outside of Jalen Lucas, who had a season-ending injury, is Sione Lolohea. I think he takes Marvin Jones Jr.'s spot. I think he should. He should take that spot unless there's an NIL contract that's put in place to keep Marvin Jones Jr. out here. But he's the better defensive end out there. I think Florida State did a really bad job in this transfer portal, and they relied so much upon it. And, as we continue to look into this offseason, there's a lot of L's that this staff took, and now they're eating it. But we didn't think they would be of this magnitude. And that's where this program's at right now, going into its fourth game.
Couple more for Logan Robinson of Knoll Game Day. Logan, the defense was awful against the run the first two games. They showed signs of life a little bit against Memphis, but yet late in the game when they needed stops, they could not get them. The third down defense has not been very good. To me, that's also very surprising, because like you said, Farmer, Jackson, Peyton, you mentioned Marvin Jones. We heard so much about the front four, but, man, that defense has fallen flat.
It has, and, the third down conversions that Florida State has allowed, and we all know, and years past, it's just kind of a regular thing. 3rd and 13s, 3rd and 9s, 3rd and 5s, 3rd and 20s, 3rd and 16s. That's just a continuous thing for Florida State's defense. That's been a disease on that side of the ball as well. But like I was saying earlier, there's been some disappointment there. You're already thin at the linebacker position. You had DJ Lundy, one of your veterans there, toy around with the NIL stuff and give Colorado a shot. Then you have to get back in the NIL game to bring him back to Tallahassee. You were desperate to bring in Cam Riley from Auburn. He's hurt right now. You're really thin there. Probably your most, I would say, exciting player to look forward to and seeing develop is Blake Nicholson. And Justin Cryer, those guys are now, potentially going to be taking a lot of playing time outside of some veterans like we saw with DJ Lundy. It's just, where do you go from here? And at the end of the day, there's got to be staff changes. We can harp on what the play is on Saturdays and everything. We kind of already got our answer. We know how this team is going to be for the rest of the season. Nothing's going to change it overnight. There's got to be a staff change, and linebacker room, defensive line, edge. Outside of Coach Surtain and the defensive back room, I think there's a conversation for a lot of position groups, but there's plenty to talk about on the defensive side of the ball. But there's got to be some kind of attack more than wait for something to happen to you on the defensive side of the ball. And that's been a theme since we were, in Ireland watching Florida State face Georgia Tech. A lot of just let it happen to me, but no, go after it and make a player. Go attack, go after the holes. It's just kind of lackadaisical that, we weren't expecting to see this upcoming season. You were hoping to see this side of the ball carry the team, and that hasn't been the case.
Logan, as we begin to wrap up, man, there are 9 games left, right? We're only a quarter of the season through, and the season seems like it's almost over. Cal comes in on Saturday. What do you expect? The crowd? I mean, what's kind of the vibe that you're going to get from Florida State Cal on Saturday from the crowd perspective?
Well, the crowd will be happy because the Marching Chiefs are playing on third down, so that makes it a lot more intriguing to be there in the stands. That's number one. But this is going to be another tough game. Looking throughout the rest of the season, Charleston Southern seems like that's a potential win for Florida State. But right now, I predicted Florida State to lose that game to Memphis 30-17. Things got really close to that score prediction, and look at what Cal did and what they did at Jordan Hare against Auburn. That. They're going to bring that same energy. They see blood. They see it heavy on this Florida State football team, and they smell it, and they're going to come in, and they're going to show more energy, more fight, likely. It's been 3 games. We've seen the same thing for 3 games, so I can just go and tell you they will show more fight than probably what Florida State will bring, unless there's someone inside that locker room, a handful of guys that want to show leadership and bring up accountability with one another, and also the coaches need to make some changes. This all falls on the shoulders of Mike Norvell. And at some point, if you go 0-4, there is most certainly a true conversation to be had about this program moving forward under Mike Norvell, because now it seems like stubbornness to put out players out there, which, if you're not seeing Brock Glenn out there on Saturday and things aren't going well under DJ, then the program has to have a reset, and that's crazy to think of after a Florida State season of 13-0 before going into that bowl game against Georgia. It's a interesting place to be in Tallahassee, and we weren't expecting this, but I think a lot of things just start to add up after a bad offseason. You kept some staff on your team, and there was changes that has had to be made in the last couple of years that haven't. And it's starting to hurt them heavily, and we're seeing that. So we'll see if they can adjust. But there's not a lot of games on this schedule coming up that I have Florida State in favor of winning, I'll be honest with you. And things have to change, and they have to happen right now whenever Florida State hits the practice field later this afternoon.
Logan Robinson of Knoll Game Day. Logan, we got about 60 seconds. Leave us with this. I mean, obviously 0-12, but I don't think that's within reason. I think they'll find a way to win a couple of games. But within reason, is there a scenario where you believe Mike Norvell could really be in trouble?
I think if you see, I was already, I keep on stating the quarterback situation just because, like I said earlier, it's not going to be the major fix of this team overall. But I'll be honest with you, Norvell will get booed out of this stadium if he puts out DJ again and it has a bad couple of series. I was in shock that he kept him out there after the interception before halftime. Unless something changes and there's different players out on the field and also better discipline and coaching, there is definitely a conversation to be had because of the stubbornness. You have flashbacks of Jimbo Fisher and what he would do here in Tallahassee that eventually got him in trouble. And, of course, yes, he goes off to Texas A&M and gets that big contract. But we saw the disease starting to grow inside that locker room. That's something that you got. And you saw how it just ripped apart. And also Willie had his ways as well with Willie Taggart. But you're seeing weird signs from Mike Norvell. And I don't know if it has to do with the NIL, like I said, the collectives and bad contracts being made. But, they have a general manager, Derek Ray, and he had a close relationship on getting DJ over to Florida State, and I think there was some bad contracts signed, and maybe it was about playing time and yada. That's what we have to think right now, because that's what Mike Norvell's put himself into, where we're having to imagine some things that we wouldn't think would be right to do is happening, and there's definitely some question marks from Mike Norvell's decisions to begin this season. And like I said, change has to happen. I'm in shock that we didn't see more change in this last game against Memphis. If we don't see if there's no true change and alterations against Cal, it's not looking great for this program. And there's going to have to be some staff firings, and it needs to happen sooner rather than later, in my opinion. I understand your recruiting, that plays a vital role in everything, but at some point, I mean, you're really, like I said earlier, making yourself look silly with not making some changes that can maybe beneficially help you in the end, at least give you a better look at and not be laughed at across the college football landscape.
Logan Robinson of Knoll Game Day. We invite Seminole fans to check out Knoll Game Day as we head into Cal coming up this Saturday. Logan, I know you're busy. Thank you as always for the time. We'll talk again soon.
Yes, Ryan. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.
Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
And thank you to Logan Robinson of Knoll Game Day for joining us tonight here on Hacker After Dark. And I've said this all week, man. I'm stunned that Florida State's 0-3. Legitimately stunned. From a preseason top 10 back on, the 24th of August to where we sit now in the just past the midpoint of September. We're talking 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks. And from preseason top 10 to 0-3. Just stunning. And we'll see what happens. Miraculously, Florida State at 0-3 is a favorite this weekend over 3-0 Cal. Of course, that game Saturday night over in Tallahassee. So we spent a lot of time on Florida State. Certainly spent a lot of time on the Jacksonville Jaguars. They will head back to work tomorrow on the practice field to begin preparations for Monday Night Football, the trip to Buffalo. Buffalo at 2-0, Jacksonville at 0-2. Again, I lost any sense of expectations I had for the Jaguars with last week's loss to Cleveland. Can Jacksonville win the game? Yeah, of course they can. They beat Buffalo last year. Will they win the game on the road on Monday night in Orchard Park in front of Bills Mafia? I would tend to doubt it. We'll certainly spend a lot more time tomorrow. I should be down at the Miller Electric Center tomorrow in the Jaguar locker room and hope to talk to a couple of guys and bring you those conversations tomorrow night here on Hacker After Dark. Well, that will just about do it for our Wednesday night edition. We certainly appreciate you guys hanging out with us here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. We have a ton of people to thank. Again, Logan Robinson of Knoll Game Day. He's one of our guys when it comes to Florida State football, and we certainly appreciate Logan taking time out for us tonight. Thank you to JP Acosta of SB Nation. Love talking Jaguar football and NFL football with JP Acosta of SB Nation. He joined us this evening. The head coach of Nice High School, Colin Drafts, probably the biggest game in Northeast Florida. Coming up Friday night under the Friday night lights is a St. Johns County battle between Nice and St. Augustine. This is probably the biggest Nice-St. Augustine game in well over a decade. Dare I say, it stirs up memories of the Tim Tebow Nice versus Brandon James St. Augustine games back in the day, so that should be a lot of fun. And thank you to Colin Drafts of Nice for joining us tonight. And back in hour number one, my buddy Leon Searcy, former Pro Bowl offensive tackle for the Jacksonville Jaguars. You hear him every day on Primetime. You get him weekly here on Hacker After Dark. And Leon, myself, and the head coach Dave Campo will indeed have a fifth quarter for you 2 hours after the Jaguars and the Bills go final next Monday night / Tuesday morning. We will be back tomorrow night on a Thursday, and we will do it all over again beginning at 8 o'clock. Dylan Denmark was your producer tonight. Dylan, great job as always. I'm the hacker Ryan Green. And again, Jacksonville, thank you for spending part of your Wednesday evening with us right here on Hacker After Dark on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. So for all of us here on HAD, have an absolutely terrific remainder of your Wednesday evening, and we will talk to you again tomorrow night on a Thursday beginning at 8 o'clock. Until then, good night, Jacksonville.
Take your shot at a weekly tailgate combo pack valued at $100 from Southern Steer Butcher.
And monthly